Wiggins. You can't say nothing about him. All those years that everybody was talking about he was bust. That's why LeBron traded him for Kevin Love, because he wasn't that guy. It didn't really work out in Minnesota, so he wasn't going to State. And it was like, oh, they just traded for him for a trade piece. All that stuff they was talking. Even Nick Wright. Nick Wright was talking stuff about him years ago. Talking about he ain't that player. All of it came right around on back on all them. I know it's hard to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I feel like Steph almost shot the Warriors out this game. Yo, what it is, what it ain't, man. This your boy Nez, aka MJ Talented, coming at you with another recap video. Dog, game 5. Wiggins. You can't say nothing about him. All those years that everybody was talking about he was bust. That's why LeBron traded him for Kevin Love, because he wasn't that guy. It didn't really work out in Minnesota, so he wasn't going to State. And it was like, oh, they just traded for him for a trade piece. All that stuff they was talking. Even Nick Wright. Nick Wright was talking stuff about him years ago. Talking about he ain't that player. All of it came right around on back on all them. Wiggins was the first, I think. If I'm he was a lottery pick, basically. He was a lottery pick for the Minnesota Timberwolves. It didn't really work out for them. So they traded him to the Golden State Warriors for D'Angelo Russell and some other players. First year, Golden State. It was pretty rough. Clay was still hurt. Draymond was in and out of the lineup. So was Steph Curry. Steph Curry was in the play-in game. Lost the play-in game. This year, Klay Thompson came back. Everybody was healthy. They have a better surrounding cast around Steph Curry now. And they beat who they beat first? They beat Nuggets first in the first round. They beat Memphis in the second round, and they beat the Dallas Mavericks in the third round. Now in the championship, they up 3-2. Wiggins, this is probably his best game in his career to me. Or stakes wise, a must-win game in the NBA Finals. You can't beat that. You can't beat it. This man, what was his stats? Wiggins was 12 for 23, 13 rebounds, and 26 points. Wow. That was his best game of his career. Hands down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Best game, man. He pretty much took over the game when Steph Curry was struggling, because they was on Steph Curry like a mug. Like, they would not let that man live. Not an inch of space. They played great pick and roll defense. Make sure you clean look off. And Steph struggled in this one. Wiggins stepped up big time. Big time. The whole game. Golden State take game 5, 104-94. The Golden State Warriors almost had like a little slippage in the game in third quarter. But they regained it back because of Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, and even a little bit of Jordan Poole. That half-court shot that Jordan Poole hit, that was the game changer. That was the momentum killer right there. Because the Celtics in the third quarter won a 19-4 run to get back into the game, because they was down by like 12 at halftime. Fourth quarter, 19-4 run. They took the lead. And then a couple big shots by Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole got them back into the game. And Jordan Poole hit that backboard shot 3 to put them up by 1 point going into the fourth. That changed the game. Like I said previously, Klay and Poole, when Boston went on that big run in the third quarter, you would think like, oh man, Warriors letting this game slip away from them. They need this game. They cannot go back to Boston down 3-2. And 19-4 run in the third by the Celtics. Jason Tatum was hot from the field. He was hitting like threes. I think at one point in the third they hit like 8 or 9 straight threes without missing. You would think like, oh, the Warriors lost this game. the Celtics turned into the Warriors in the third quarter. Couldn't miss. Everybody was hitting, even Marcus Smart. Al Horford hit a big shot. I don't think Jaylen Brown really caught his foot in this one, but Marcus Smart hit a big shot. It was just an avalanche in the third quarter. Then in step Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, man, like I said, he struggled pretty much this whole year coming back. And pretty much Steph was pretty much carrying the Warriors in this finals. And it was bound for Steph to have one bad game in the finals. And it was this one, and Klay and Poole stepped up with big shot after big shot after big shot. It's like, man, without them, they would have lost this game. Point blank period. It was Klay, Poole, and Wiggins that won this game. Pretty much. Draymond, at the end of the game, he fouled out again. God, man, that's all he do is foul, it seems like now. But he had a bigger impact in this game than the last 3 games combined to me, because in the first quarter, he came out aggressive, finally. He started taking the shots that they was giving him. He was taking to the rim. He was throwing good passes, good cut passes, getting Wiggins going, getting Klay going. He was really big, even on the defensive end. He was playing solid against Jaylen Brown, a couple times on Jason Tatum. He was big in that first half. In the third half, I said the third half, my dumb ass. Second half, he didn't really do too much, for real. He was just, I guess, just pretty much doing his Draymond job. He even got into it with Jason Tatum, trying to walk him to the sideline after a timeout. I don't know what was that about, but hey, it's Draymond. What you expect? So yeah, Draymond had an impact in this game. This is probably Steph's worst game in the playoffs in his career. The man, he was missing everything. I felt like, I know it's hard to say this, but I'm gonna say it. I feel like Steph almost shot the Warriors out this game, and he's the best shooter of all time, one of the greats of all time. But this game, I felt like a lot of his shots was pretty much momentum killers, because at one point they was trying to stop the bleeding, and he was taking a lot of almost half court shots, because the Celtics not let that man live. They were switching on everything. Al Horford, Robert Williams, everybody was up on them screens, so he couldn't really get no shot off, so they was making everybody else beat him. And credit to Steph Curry for not losing it, because you was pretty much like, man, let me see his stats right quick. Steph Curry was 7 for 22, 0 for 9. When have you ever seen Steph not hit 1-3? That means that since Celtics made it a plan, Steph Curry is not going to beat us this game. We're going to make everybody else beat us but Steph Curry. And they did a good job guarding Steph Curry, 0 for 9. 0 for 9. I think they said it was 130 some games straight where he made at least 1-3, including the playoffs. And he didn't make no 3 this time. They did a great job guarding him, but they couldn't guard nobody else. That's what they made a mistake at. They let everybody else get going, but you just focus on stopping one player. That's why I say they have a great team offense. It's like anybody can really get their issue off. For real. And you focus on one player, that's when Wiggins gonna step up and give you 26 points. That's when Klay Thompson step up and give you 21 points. That's when Jordan Poole and Gary Payton II, he played some big minutes on the defensive end and hitting key shots too. He had 15 points and Jordan Poole had 14 points. That's when they get up, because you're so focused on one player. That's not their offense. He's not an ISO player for real. And that's what happened to him, man. It bit him at the end of the game. The Celtics pretty much came out flat. It's like they wasn't ready for the Warriors in this game at first. Then they started to get their stuff together at the end of the first quarter into the second. But they was down by like 12 points at halftime, and then that third quarter, that third quarter reminded me of Game One third quarter, or was that fourth quarter? I think it was the fourth quarter. They remind me of Game One fourth quarter when they couldn't miss from three. They was hitting on all cylinders. They was playing great Celtics defense like they known for, and the Warriors couldn't really get nothing off. It took a backboard heave from Jordan Poole for the Warriors to really win this game. Because I feel like if he did not hit that shot, the Celtics had all the momentum. They was down by as much as 16 in this game and 12 at halftime, and the Warriors couldn't really stop what the Celtics was doing. So, and at one point in that first half, to get back into this game, all the Celtics was doing was going at Jalen Poole or Jordan Poole and Bielitsa, and it was working. They was slowly creeping back into the game, but then they created a distance at halftime. But the third quarter, they couldn't miss. They could not miss. I was like, yeah, Warriors, man, you done messed up. Y'all was up by 12. Y'all was turning the ball over. Y'all was letting Jason Tatum get into a rhythm and not really making him drive, because they were just shooting all threes for real, and they was making. The Celtics was making all their threes. You let Marcus Smart hit some threes. You was leaving Al Horford open for some threes, and it was like nothing worked. Then they went Smart. I was like, man, if Jordan Poole or Steph Curry don't get off going Smart, it's gonna be a wrap early in the third quarter. But they withheld, and they hit some key shots down the stretch. And the Celtics, man, really, like I told you, when they get 15 plus turnovers, I think the record now is like 1-7. And when they don't, they like 12 and like 3. I don't know. I gotta look up the stats. But it's not a good record when you turn the ball over 15 plus times. I'm sorry. And once again, they did the same thing. Jason Tatum, he ended the game with 4 turnovers. Al Horford 2. Jaylen Brown, man, he struggled all the way around. He had 5 turnovers. And Marcus Smart had 4. You're not going to beat the Warriors, especially when they are a transition team, by turning the ball over how many times? They turned the ball over 18 times. You're not going to beat the Warriors like that. You're not. I want to talk about Jason Tatum right quick. Jason Tatum, when he swept KD and he beat Giannis, and then it took him 7 games, but they beat Jimmy Butler now. I feel like Jason Tatum really arrived as a superstar. I'm like, yeah, he's that guy now. But when you go to the finals, way different pressure than the previous rounds. Way different pressure. So, as a superstar, people expecting you to show up like a superstar. It's like no matter what goes on, no matter what defense they play against you, you're going to get yours, no matter what. That's what superstars do. That's what Steph Curry do. That's what LeBron do. That's what Kawhi, KD, Giannis, all them gonna get theirs, no matter what defense you play against them. It might be hard. It might be a hard defense that you're playing against them, but they gonna get theirs. And too many times, I feel like in this finals, Jason Tatum disappeared at some point in the game when the Celtics really needed him to show up. A lot. And I feel like right now he's still young. He's beginning to be in his prime. But I don't think he's there yet as a superstar. He's still a star. He's still a top 10 player. But I feel like all the superstars I'm going to name KD, Giannis, LeBron, Kawhi. I can kind of throw Luka in there, but he need to do something else too. But you can say Luka, Jokic, Joel Embiid. How many is that? 7? I can't think of nothing else off the top of my head right now. But no more considered superstars in today's game. Jason Tatum is right behind that. He's on the cusp of being a superstar, but right now, what he's showing me, it ain't it. It's not it, bro. But I also put partial of the blame on the Celtics because he has to facilitate the offense, which is not his strong suit, and try to get himself going. And that's hard on a star. When you just known for scoring and that's your mindset is to score, now you have to be the facilitator of the offense, and that's when you have a lot of turnovers. And I read a stat from Stat News. He has the most turnovers in one single playoffs in NBA history with like 94. I'm gonna put the stat up too. That's crazy. That means that he has the ball too much in his hands. He has too much responsibility on his shoulders. Everybody trying to be like LeBron. LeBron is probably the only player I know, even though I'm not a LeBron fan whatsoever. I'm gonna give him his credit though. Can't nobody beat LeBron. He does every single thing for his team back in his prime. And everybody can't do that. That goes to show you. And Jason Tatum, he really struggled. I'm not gonna say he struggled because he was 10 for 20 with 27 points. But I felt like he disappeared in parts of the game where the Celtics really needed him. Yeah, so that happened. Jaylen Brown. He's been the most consistent Celtic in this playoffs. And he was horrible in this game. He was horrendous, trash. He stunk it up the whole game. And he played 44 minutes. He was 5 for 18 with 18 points. And he had the most turnovers on the team, 5 turnovers. And yeah, it was pretty bad. He couldn't really get a shot off. They was playing him aggressive. I remember shout out to Stan Van Gundy and Mark Jackson and all them. They was talking about how when you send Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to their left side, they either turn the ball over or they really can't get their shot off. When you let them get to their right hand, that's when all the trouble happens. So I felt like Draymond Green did a good job on Jaylen Brown. Gary Payton II did a great job. Klay Thompson had some assignments on Jaylen Brown. He did a great job. They was making him use his left hand a lot, and they created a lot of turnovers. And yeah, this is his worst game in the playoffs by far. And yeah, it's a difference when I feel like, can you really consider Jaylen Brown a star? He has the talent. He has the talent on both ends. He can score. He plays good defense. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes he can be a star. Sometimes he can be a role player. That's what I feel about him. Let's talk about what else we're gonna talk about. Marcus Smart. This is actually one of your better games as far as shooting the ball. But he, like I said in all my videos, or most of my videos about the Celtics, he's not a point guard. And that's going to be their downfall in this finals if they lose. Is because they needed a true point guard. And they didn't give Peyton Pritchard he only played 4 minutes. Derek White, they pretty much took him out. He wasn't really getting no rhythm. He was 0 for 4 from the field. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have a point guard. You gonna have a lot of turnovers. And Marcus Smart is not that point guard. He's a good player. Defensive player of the year. Good player. And he had 20 points today, so you can't really say nothing about his shooting, but he's not a point guard. Then, at one point in that fourth quarter, he put the Celtics in a hole. He was turning the ball over. He was flopping a lot. You know, he's known for flopping. Oh my God, it was at one point, it was on a shot where Klay Thompson hit a 3. And I ain't gonna lie, Klay Thompson kind of pushed off a little bit, but Marcus Smart tried to sell the contact and the refs didn't call it, and you let Klay Thompson set up for a 3. And that was like, at that point, there was like a 7-0 run to start the fourth quarter. He was flopping. He was committing dumb fouls and getting texts called on him, because after they gave him a foul, he was still complaining about. I'm like, bro, Marcus Smart is crumbling before our very eyes. He's part of the reason why they lost this game. Even though he had 20 points, he's part of the reason. He really crumbled in that fourth quarter. And yeah, you gotta take Marcus Smart's faults with his pros too. Like I say, he's a good defensive player. He can knock down some threes. He can take it to the basket every once in a while, but he really crumbled in that fourth quarter, I feel like. And yeah, the Warriors win Game 5. They won Game 5, and for them to win Game 5 and Steph Curry struggle from the field, that's bad for the Celtics. That's horrible. How many times you gonna have a Steph game where he got 0 for 9 from 3? The greatest shooter of all time. How many games is gonna be like that? Not that many games. But the Warriors take Game 5. They going back to Boston in Game 6. We're gonna see what's Boston about. That's gonna be a hectic crowd. They got it. I feel like this series gonna go 7. It's gonna be hard to beat Boston in Boston with that fan base. So, but yeah, that's a big win for the Warriors. They really showed up for Steph Curry when he played his worst game, in my opinion, in his playoff career. And yeah, that's a good win. That's a great win. That is a great team win. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors for winning Game 5. Shout out to the Celtics. I feel like they're gonna respond in Game 6, win Game 6. It's gonna go to 7 games. And Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they need you. They gonna need you, especially in Game 6. And we're gonna see what they about, man. I appreciate y'all for watching this video, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And comment down below what you think gonna happen in Game 6. And NBA Finals, that's what it's about. I'm gonna see y'all next video. Let's get